Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Shifting the Culture podcast, where we talk about the different artists, different events, and different controversies that center around this world we know and love as hippity hip hop. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor in the Flesh, as always.
This is King Khan, aka the Evil Genius, live and direct once again.
What's going on, King Khan? How's it going?
Oh, everything's going, man. Good, man. Just enjoying the playoffs, enjoying the weekend, but everything is up, man.
Good to hear. And guys, we have a very special guest for you today. He is one of my best friends of 22 years, also a fellow hip hop head and MC, and one of the co-founders of 416, one of the best vegan restaurants you would ever go to, as well as one of the head bartenders at Veganized in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and also a battle rapper extraordinaire. He is the one, the only Ben Rachmani, aka Benny Bagels. What is going on, my brother?
Hey, what's the deal, yo? Good to be here. Thanks for the feature, man. It's an honor.
Glad to have you on here, bro.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today, man.
Hey, my pleasure, man. These are so it should be a pretty good episode, man.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So, Ben, how's it going over there in Jersey? How's springtime, if it is springtime over there yet?
Yeah, can't complain, man. Just another day in paradise. It was just came back from Florida, that was really nice. And then
Yes, no, very well.
I got back, the weather started getting better here, so I'll take it. Got a nice tan going. Went to the beach the other day, first time at the Jersey Shore. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's what's up. Has your body recovered from all the sunburns and all that shit we went through when we were there in Florida?
It's still a little dried out, but yeah, I'm done peeling. I'm not red anymore. My skin doesn't hurt.
Damn, you guys got sunburn down there?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we both did bad,
Damn,
especially him.
You guys don't use sunscreen?
Nah, I had I thought it was gonna be in the beach. I thought I was gonna be in the beach half the time I was there. I ended up only getting one real beach day. I just went hard, bro. No sunscreen, nothing, bro. But
Oh, man.
at first I got burned, and then from going red, I just turned, started peeling, and now I'm just tan.
Oh, man. Yeah, that sun down there is serious, man. Even if you're wearing clothes or a shirt or something or a tank top, you still can get sunburned. So, yeah, definitely next time you head down there, you definitely got to bring some sunscreen.
Yeah,
I don't care how gangster you are, you think you are. You definitely gotta use that sunscreen, man.
that bro.
Yeah, it was the first time I had been to the beach in a year and a half, and yeah, I did not see that shit coming. But I definitely felt it for the next 3 days, bro. Yeah, I think
That's just the worst.
Yeah, I'm not doing that shit the same way again, but it's all good. It was still fun though. It was really good, especially to hang out with some of our friends from high school that we hadn't seen in forever, and to see them all together and get them all together in the same place. That was definitely the highlight of the whole trip.
So you guys had a mini high school reunion?
Yeah, bro.
High school reunion, I guess?
I kind of bullied all our high school friends to come meet us up on our last night and got them all under one roof. I don't think that happened
that's dope.
in years, bro. Everyone really enjoyed being there and hanging out with each other,
Yeah, seeing him try to convince everybody and pressure everybody reminded me why he's always been a good influence and a bad influence at the same time.
Did you guys even have a real high school reunion, or did it come up yet?
We had so the 20-year one is next year, 25, because we graduated in 05.
Okay,
but the 10-year my brother Al went with Kurt. I didn't go.
Yeah,
so
the one.
That one, so I made my own.
Yeah, that was the one right after I moved to Vegas. I came for a week. I came into town to go to that reunion. That was the initial one.
Oh, okay. You guys plan on going to the next one or what?
The one next year, sure.
Yeah, I'd go to the next one. I had a great time in Florida now. I'm looking for an excuse to go back. So, and I never went to the 10-year one, so I might as well.
I'll be honest with you. I'll definitely tell you this. The get-together we had 2 weeks ago was way funner than the 10-year reunion. 10 times more fun.
Oh, of course, bro, because we had just the people you actually want to see.
Exactly.
And our own environment and shit.
No, I was gonna say the people from school they normally they're gonna try to rent out a hall and try to make it all formal and kind of like a prom or homecoming type of vibe.
We didn't even get that. We got it at fucking Ale House.
Yeah, I think people just want to just chill, hang out, drink, catch up with each other. That's about it.
Yeah, we went to that like Hooters wannabe place or
Twin
whatever.
Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Yeah. It was just like the closest to like everybody, like where it didn't feel like too far from anyone. It was big enough where we could get a bunch of people there.
Yeah. Twin Peaks is cool. No problem with that place.
And I noticed that Florida's a lot more smoker friendly these days because we were smoking outside of the restaurant and they didn't really give us much of a problem.
Bro, I was smoking weed everywhere there, bro. Everywhere. Yeah. No one gives a fuck. I was in Boho, like this fancy bougie bar, smoking weed in the bar, bro. No one said shit to me.
Wow, because they're gonna pass it. Event. They're gonna. I think it's on the ballot.
For this year.
Florida just don't
for this year.
Anymore, bro. Like when we were in high school, we used to hide this shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But I think now if they catch you, it's only like a ticket. They'll just give you like a written citation or whatever.
Oh, it's decriminalized.
Yeah, it's not as like because they know, man. Like I don't know why it's not legal.
Florida's all about having a good time. That's why they blew up so hard. They didn't give a fuck during COVID. Everybody moved there. They're on the come up, bro. When I got off the airport and we were pulling in, bro, all the ramps and like the overpasses and bridges and shit, I was like, where the fuck am I, bro? It's like fucking, you just see a bunch of different roads crossing, intersecting each other, under each other, over each other, like in like 10 different roads in 10 different directions. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, bro?
Yeah, it's changed. Definitely changed since you guys been down here.
I never really got to experience Miami like that because when I did live there, I was like under 21. And then every time I came back to visit, I would come back to visit more in like Broward, Davie,
Hard Rock,
Weston, Fort Lauderdale, Plantation. Yeah, like that area. This time I got there a few days before Kurt. The whole time I was just like in Miami, like, bro, fucking the first night I get in, bro, I landed like 5 p.m. I get to my friend's place at 6 p.m. I was staying with her for a few days. She has this like crazy apartment right on the water, right by the Heat Arena, 37th floor. Like, bro, crazy. Yeah, so
you could literally walk to the arena from there, bro. Literally.
Yeah, bro. We get there. It's my first night. We just smoke some weed, hang out, talk, whatever. She's like, "You want some mushrooms?" I'm like, "Sure, why not? Eat some mushrooms. We go have dinner, come back." She's also vegan. We went to some vegan restaurant in South Beach. Smoke another joint. She's like, "Yo, there's this really good DJ playing at Space tonight. Do you want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll eat some mushrooms and we'll go." She was like, "All right, cool." He has set this from 4 a.m. till 9 a.m. And it's like 10:30 now. She's like, "I'm gonna go to sleep. Wake me up at 4. We'll walk there. It's like 5 minutes from here." I'm like, "Bet." I was just like smoking weed on the balcony, catching up on some phone shit. I passed out for like 2-3 hours. We wake up, take quick showers, just smoke more weed, take like 5 joints with us. She hid it somewhere on her body. And ate some more shrooms, go to Space, bro. The whole time we're there, we're just like for like 5 hours, just like barely even drinking, bro. Just water bottles and joints, just in the dance floor, vibing out, shrooming out, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, I got like 3 different chicks Instagram. We're like wingmanning each other and shit.
Oh, nice.
And then like at 9:30, bro, we're like, it's already fucking daylight. People are bugging, whatever. A new DJ comes on. We're like, all right, we got to go walk her dog. We go walk her dog. And then instead of like going to sleep, we go to Coconut Grove to a farmer's market to do a yoga class from 10:30 a.m. to noon. And we were a little bit late, so at the end of the class, we told the teacher why we were late. Yo, she fucking died. She couldn't believe it. And then we're walking around the farmer's market, shrooming, eating vegan food and shit. Get back to the crib, smoke another J. She goes to sleep. And I just went to Hollywood Beach. I met up with some high school friends, had margaritas all night. And then I came back to sleep. That was like my first night. I mean, it was technically 2 days, but that was like my first night. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I haven't had nights like that I haven't had nights like that in years, man. So
in Tallahassee days.
I'm glad I'm glad you guys had a good time though. It sounded like a fun weekend.
Oh yeah, bro. Like between just vibing out in Miami and then hanging out with the crew and with Kurt on the beach and like all the high school friends, bro, I had a great time. Just being off for a week, bro. 70 degrees at night, 80 degrees in the day. We caught the solar eclipse out there.
Oh yeah, that was sick to see too.
Yeah, it was nice.
Okay, so let's get into our main topic of the day. Last week we talked to you guys about Drake dropping a diss to Kendrick called Tailor Made, where he used AI to sample Tupac and Snoop Dogg's voices for it. And since then, Tupac's estate has sent Drake a cease and desist, telling him that he had 24 hours to remove the song or else he would face legal action. And since then, Drake has dropped the track from social media. And yes, I knew from hearing that song initially that I wasn't really feeling the whole vibe of it and the idea of him using those voices. And considering that he got sued so quickly afterwards, it's clear that this probably wasn't a good idea in the first place. What do you guys think about this?
I don't even know if what the laws are about AI, if they can even really sue you or not. Like I know you can sue for anything, but I don't know if they'd win. I don't know if like voices are copyrighted. I don't like. I'm not sure. You'd have to like actually talk to a lawyer to figure that part out. But I'm not like. Granted, you don't want to be beefing with Tupac's estate. That's not going to look good as a rapper. And you know, he already got what he needed out of it, so there's no problem taking it down. So maybe it wasn't worth the hassle. But I'm not even sure that legally they could really do anything about it because the AI is new. Like I don't even know if there's laws about this shit yet.
I don't even know how they can really sue him because I don't even think he really released it out. He didn't really put it out like on streaming services like Apple Music or Spotify or one of those platforms. It's kind of like just on the internet, like as like a track that was like floating around. So I don't really know how they're gonna really go after him as far as like suing him. But I think they could at least get him to take it down from wherever it was posted online. They can at least get it to come down. But honestly, I think it was a creative idea to use AI and to the idea behind using Tupac and Snoop's voice, to come back at Kendrick. So I think that idea of it was mad creative, and I've always like gave props to artists in the past for being creative, trying different things. But the only thing is that I didn't like the part that he didn't really get permission from the estate to to use their voices or even hit up Snoop Dogg, who Snoop Dogg is still alive, and I think they have some type of relationship. So that's the part that I didn't really rock with. And it's not like Drake was affiliated with Tupac or Death Row or anybody related to Tupac during his time. So yeah, it does come up as like a slap in the face. And he's not even from the West Coast as well, so it's even more disrespectful. So I can see why the Tupac's estate can come after him and try to get him to take it down.
I mean, it also makes sense because it's not actually Tupac. Tupac might have even been cool with it. He might have even done the verse himself. You don't really know, but it's just a bunch of lawyers now. They're, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the people running his estate. They're like, they're thinking like lawyers, not like rappers. It makes sense they would do that, but. And I agree with you. It was very creative. And also maybe he didn't go about it the best way. He should have probably cleared it. But I don't think he's a better rapper than Kendrick. But I think he's fucking definitely winning this battle right now. Because I think Cole and Kendrick potentially could beat him and are better rappers in like a lot of senses. But he's going hard, bro. Like, he's like the most serious one in it. And he's not just battling Kendrick. He's battling like The Weeknd and Rick Ross and Future and like he's just going against everybody, bro. Like it's like almost like civil war and shit. But like, like with rappers, bro, it's crazy. Like he's just going, against everybody and thing with him, like a lot of his shit is subliminal, so you might miss it, but he like that whole drop and give me 50, like he's kind of referring to his deal with TDE, where the rumor is that he was given like 50% of his profit to them, so it's like a double entendre. He's like top telling you whatever, you gotta stop and drop and give him 50. I thought that shit was pretty clever, man. I thought he went kind of hard on that.
Yeah, it was a great diss. I would say like it's probably the best diss that's come out in these last few disses we've been hearing from everybody so far, besides the Chris Brown one, the Quavo, which I talked about before. The Taylor made one, his part on it was good, but yeah, just him sampling Pac and Snoop's voices to diss Kendrick, I personally wasn't.
I think they were all his parts, though.
Yeah, it was really him recording all three. They just put a filter.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, he just put like an AI filter on his voice, but he was rapping and writing all of it. Yeah.
And even in the letter that Drake got from Tupac's estate, basically what the letter said, it said that the track was a flagrant violation of Tupac's publicity and his estate's legal rights. And basically said it was also a blatant excuse of his legacy.
Abuse? A blatant abuse?
Yeah, it was an abuse of his legacy.
Okay. I mean, leave it up to lawyers to jazz up a letter, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, but I'm just wondering what's going to come out of this next. Like whenever Kendrick's going to respond, if ever, because it's been what, like 2 weeks, 2 weeks since Drake dissed him back.
I feel like for Kendrick to just come out with just one verse on Future's song, dissing both these dudes and pretty much being like, fuck the big three, it's just big me, let's go to war. And then getting dissed by Cole and Drake twice and still not saying shit. He really has to come out hard to like save himself from the situation he put himself in. You know, like, why are you going to start this shit off if you don't plan on seeing it through? Like, what happened? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought Kendrick would at least come back by now. It's been a few weeks, and Drake has been pretty relentless ever since that song came out with at least retaliating. So we'll see what happens. Seems like it's kind of dying down ever since the cease and desist, because I don't even see Ross and Drake going back and forth anymore like they were the week before. So we'll see what happens.
Maybe I didn't even hear Ricky's track. Was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was all right. It was all right. It was more funny, I would say, than anything. I would say more.
I love funny disses if they're actually funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. But yeah, I feel like Kendrick, I don't think he's gonna come back anytime soon. I think he's gonna let things die down, and then he'll eventually come out of nowhere with a song. But he definitely has to come back. He can't just let this like go under the rug. He definitely has to come back and drop something to come at Drake.
Well, people hate on Drake and say that he's a pop star and he's a singer and whatnot, but he's just going up against the best, and he's bringing that back-to-back energy he had with Meek Mill, doing 2 tracks in a row. Even the way he dropped that "Drop and Give Me 50" with that Who Kid intro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He's just like trying to bring back that 50 Cent Who Kid mixtape, like Murder Inc. style vibe from back in the day. He's just setting a tone, because Who Kid didn't even produce that beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just threw it on there for that vibe. You know what I'm saying? He even said something like acting like I'm 50.
That's
or
one thing
whatever.
I missed. Those G Unit mixtapes when they used to go in on Ja Rule, and that's what a lot of mixtapes were used for, especially around that time. That people just go at other artists or to jump on.
It was mostly that time though, because mixtapes usually weren't about beef. You know what I'm saying? But like that, like Murder Inc., 50, Eminem, like whatever beef, like that's when all those Who Kid tapes were coming out with all these crazy diss tracks.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he did that. That's why he put that Who Kid intro on there.
Sounds about right.
I think also because Rick Ross was part of it as well. I feel like he added the Who Kid because him and 50 Cent always had beef. So I feel like that was another like a little jab that he added in. Just something subtle to add into to make it hit a little bit more.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Like, our biggest beef with Drake isn't the fact that he's like a pop star and he's a singer and all that. It's just that he's like mad sensitive and mad petty. And considering that all of these different people are beefing with him and dissing him, it's clear that there's something going on. There's like, and it's obvious the common denominator in all these different issues is him. So there's definitely some kind of issue that lies there.
I guess for me, it's just I don't give a fuck about the person personally, right? Like, I just care about the music. For all I know, all these dudes are little diva ass little bitches, and fake as fuck, or all about money, or only care about pussy, or only trying to be rich and famous. Like, I'm not hanging out with these motherfuckers. I'm not opening a business with them. I'm just trying to listen to their music. You know what I'm saying? So, like, bro, I still listen to Michael Jackson, and he allegedly fucked kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the music's dope. Like, I can't start like, every movie I go watch, just check everyone that worked on it. What if the DP was like a pedophile or some shit? I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, go to a restaurant, they got to do a background search on the chef. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I just judge it on the music point of view. I don't give a fuck if he fucked their girls. I don't give a fuck if he's petty. I don't give a fuck if he's whatever. Musically, he's holding it down. So he does a lot of pop shit, makes a lot of money. He gets hated on it, but every time he needs to rap, he raps his ass off. You know what I'm saying? So, and even now, bro, he's going against fucking and all these dudes, and he's holding his ground.
And that was another thing also, is that some of his albums we were starting to like less and less as the years went on, with the addition of that, and also what we mentioned. That's kind of what made some of us not like him as much.
If I'm being honest, I've never heard a Drake album, like actually listen to the album. I don't hear songs. Yeah.
I don't think he has that classic album though. I would say that Take Care,
I guess, except for Take Care, that'd
and
be the
So
one
Far
exception.
Gone, but So Far Gone is like a mixtape. But I don't think he's had a a whole body of work where people say, "Yo, that's a classic." Everybody has one. Jay, Nas,
Yeah,
Yeah, he
say
never
J.
had Illmatic
Cole,
or
Kanye.
Lucy.
Jay, yeah,
Everybody has
for
a
sure.
classic album. Drake doesn't have a classic album. He has a lot of classic singles, but he doesn't have a classic album, a whole body of work that's everybody. You can't deny it.
Fair enough.
I don't think he's come out with it.
Fair enough. That might be the case. Like, I'll take your word for it because I trust you guys. I haven't personally heard any of his albums, just like really his music. But I feel like, unfortunately, because I love that shit. But in today's day and age, it's not even a factor anymore. Everything is streaming now. People just buy songs. Like, you're not really doing the album thing anymore. I mean, I guess maybe when
Yeah.
it started, it was still relevant. But like, I feel like today, unfortunately, because I love that shit, but like, unfortunately, that whole album concept is just not the same as it used to be.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, a lot has changed, and yeah, you don't have to be considered one of the best without a classic album anymore. They
Well,
just
it's all about streaming. It's all about like songs performing now.
And hell, not even just that. You don't even have to have talent in some cases.
Oh shit!
yeah.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I even heard Neo talk about that the other day. I heard Neo talk about that the other day. How like when he was trying to get into the music business, like it was super competitive. You had to be talented. You had to really be on your shit. But nowadays, you can suck and you could have no talent whatsoever, and you could blow up overnight randomly.
I think today you need to have a following. If you don't like have your own
Exactly.
following, if you're not already doing shows and you don't have a bunch of followers on social media and shit like that, no one's gonna sign you. You know what I'm saying? They want to find
Yeah.
someone who already kind of made it, but not all the way, and then blow them up. But I just feel like, yo, it's such a weird place to be because if you already made it halfway, like, do you sign and take the elevator up, but give away so much money and freedom? Or do you just grind it out and keep doing what you're doing that got you where you are, but stay independent, keep all your publishing, all your money, all your rights, don't work for anybody? I don't know.
It just depends on the artist what they're looking for.
Yeah, you always hear about
Right.
artists owning their masters and how like if they don't own their masters, they don't really own anything. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely a lot to that, and yeah, a lot of artists like especially these days they take it a lot more seriously. All right, so let's move on to our next subject. Doja Cat had an interesting message for parents who choose to bring their children to her concerts, and this is what Doja Cat had to say in several tweets the other day. I'm rapping about cum. Why are you bringing your offspring to my show? I don't know what the fuck you think this is, but I don't make music for children, so leave your kids at home, motherfucker. And this one was probably the one that takes the cake. Rapping about eating dick and pissing on his V cut, leave your mistake at home.
Wow.
Say
Holy
what you say.
shit.
This shit is fucking hilarious, though, bro. Oh my god, the way she chooses to like go about explaining it is just hilarious.
All I'm saying is I feel really bad for her publicist.
Yeah, well, she's making her justify her job, her salary.
I don't think she has one, man, because
Yeah.
she says a lot of random stuff and goes on a lot of rants. So I don't even know if she even has one.
Well, she's doing something right, bro. She's huge. She just killed it in Coachella. She's like one of the
Yeah.
biggest artists.
She's one of the few artists to get like a perfect 5-star review for her Coachella performance. She's like one of only like 5 to get that.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the best female artists that are out right now. Not just in hip hop, but in as a whole. Like even if you consider her pop as well. Yeah, she's definitely doing her thing. But she is right. Like, why would you bring a kid to one of her type of shows? Like, why would you bring a kid to a Sexy Red show or to a show like
I,
that? Like, you
I,
already know.
Bro, I always feel like,
You already know.
especially if you're the one triggered by it and complaining about it at the end, right? It's like if
Exactly.
I really want to go to like I don't know the Hawaii to like a luxurious vacation getaway in like a 5-star hotel in an like tropical island in Hawaii. That's what I want. But I end up booking like some shitty motel in Alabama. I can't really complain. Like this is the experience that I booked myself. I can't be like,
Yeah, like,
there's
we
nothing.
sign up for it.
Where's the beach? Where's the pool? Where's like the nice? No, like this is like you're responsible. It's like going to a restaurant. Like if I go to like a really nice restaurant, but it's like I don't know Mexican restaurant, and I'm like, you guys don't got no sushi? What the fuck, bro? Like, and then I get pissed off and leave a shitty review that they had no sushi. Like, you gotta know what the product you're getting is, right? Like, what movie are you
Yeah.
going to? What restaurant are you going to? What show are you going to? You're responsible of checking in and making sure that you like that artist's content. Like, especially like stand-up comedians, people go to their shows and get offended. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you getting offended at a stand-up show? Like, it's for laughs. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it just doesn't make
Like,
sense.
just double check where the fuck you're going, make sure you're into it, you know what I'm saying, and then don't complain afterwards. Like, you're gonna take little kids to Doja Cat, you're the problem, bro. Like,
Yeah, that isn't
Yeah, you're
responsible
gonna be a better
parenting at
parent.
all.
Yeah, I would say like, yo, if your kids, they listen to, artists that you probably don't even know about, never heard about. So it's your job as a parent to kind of listen or tap into what they're listening to. And if you're gonna take them to a concert, you got to know at least what type of music the artist puts out, and then see if you agree with that. And if you're not, then you can't be taking your kid to that type of concert, or take him and then start complaining about the type of content that's being performed at that concert.
yeah,
Like, shit doesn't make sense.
she's the
Yeah, you
last
should
one
know
to
that.
hide her mo. Like, she puts it out there for everybody to see, so you can't for
Exactly.
that. She's consistent with what she's putting out,
Yeah, say what you want about her, but at the end of the day, she's not responsible to raise other people's kids.
yeah.
Yeah, she's not a role model.
She's an
She's just an
artist.
artist.
She's an artist. What she makes her art about is her prerogative. And if other parents don't like that their kids listen to it, or don't like their kids being exposed to it, don't let your kids listen to it then.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
clearly
not her
there's a
job
huge
to censor
market
herself.
for it. Clearly there's a huge market for it. She's fucking killing it.
Yeah, I've maintained, other than Nicki Minaj, she's probably the one female rapper that I'm actually a fan of these days, like of the modern ones at least.
Bro, you should check
Yeah, she's
out
pretty dope.
Chica is pretty dope too, man.
Lady London's also dope too.
She's pretty dope. There's a few chicks that are out. The Flo Milli, I like her. Her
No
style is
Name's pretty
different.
good.
Yeah, but Doja Cat's definitely one of them that stands out, and I'm not gonna stop listening to her music. I mean, granted, she's a little weird in certain cases, but like Ben was talking about a few minutes ago, I still do try to do my best to separate the art from the artist. So I'm still gonna jam to her music regardless of all that shit, all that
Yeah.
kind of shit.
No, and honestly, even if you didn't like the way she wrote her comments, it wasn't that bad, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is on her social media. She can act however she wants and say whatever she wants on her social media. You don't have to follow it, don't subscribe to it. But at the end of the day, it's not like she was being like super racist or, anything
Well, she
like
had an
really out of
incident.
pocket.
Well, she had an incident with that a few years ago with one of her videos she put out.
Yeah, she did have some controversial shit come out.
Yeah,
Okay.
she got a lot of flack for that. She eventually had to apologize for. Yeah, she's gotten kind of like this kind of attention before. This isn't the first time. But in this specific case, I'm not going to crucify her for it, because she is right. People should not be bringing their kids to her concerts if they know that she's going to be talking about cum and sucking dick and all that other jazz.
Yeah. Leave the kids at home.
Hell yeah, leave the kids at home. That shit should be reserved for date nights.
All right, what we got next, bro?
Well, I'm just to close this out, like just from hearing all this, I kind of want to go to Doja Cat's concert now too.
So check it out.
Well, she's about to go overseas now. The part of her tour now is going to go overseas.
I'm sure she'll be back in.
Europe.
Yeah, she'll be over there, but
Well, she's got a huge market overseas. She's like a international artist. She's like Drake.
Yeah, she's big.
She's
She's
popular
pretty big.
all over the world.
yeah, she's no joke.
She's huge, bro. And to think she blew up off a TikTok video about that cow song or whatever. The bitch, I'm a cow.
Yeah.
That's how she blew up, right?
You better watch it though with the TikTok shit. They're about to like ban it very soon.
I'm not even on that shit, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna miss it. I'd rather not it get banned, but I'm personally not gonna miss it because there's just so many different apps to be on these days that I don't really need another one to be stuck on.
Bro, I'm barely keeping up with Facebook and Instagram. I don't need any other apps. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, definitely not. But let's move on to something more positive, as it was announced this past week that Mary J. Blige, Tribe Called Quest, Kool and the Gang, and a few other artists will be going into this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. I can't think of any
man.
other artist more deserving of this. Yes, especially Mary J. Blige.
I mean,
Anybody who listens to this podcast knows how much of a fan I am of hers, who's been killing it for like the last 30 years or so. And I'm happy to see all these people get in, but I would say especially I'm happy to see her get in.
For me, I'm especially happiest about Tribe. I love Tribe, bro. Q-Tip honestly might be in my top 5 that are alive. His Renaissance album was amazing.
Oh yeah, Q-Tip definitely is dope.
Great producer
Tribe Called
too.
Quest definitely one of the greatest hip hop
Yeah.
groups of all time, and they kind of like birthed, some of the other groups like Outkast and among other groups that kind of got inspired by them. And yeah, definitely Mary J. Blige deserved. She's one of the greatest R&B artists that's been out. Yeah, she's been doing her thing, numerous hits, and yeah, she definitely deserves to get her flowers while she's still here to enjoy them. So shouts out to both of them.
Yeah, and she's still killing it too. She's still coming out with music, and she looks great.
Yeah, she looks happy now. It looks like
I didn't even.
she's divorced and whatnot. She looks like she's in a good space.
They say divorce is the best part of the marriage.
Oh shit!
The married guy laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always heard
Funny.
the saying that no good marriage ever ends in divorce.
Well, yeah, that's why it's the best part, because if you're getting divorced, it just wasn't a good one to begin with.
Yeah, bees like that, but yeah, she does seem happy from what King Khan was saying, and she looks great too. Honestly, she looks better now than she did like when she was in her prime.
I'll do it to you, man. You get divorced and then you start want to look good again. So it's like she's taking care of herself. So shouts out to her, man.
Yeah, and Tribe Called Quest definitely well deserved. One of the greatest hip hop groups to ever do it. Unfortunately, Fife won't be alive to be a part of the ceremony, but it's great that him and the rest of the crew are finally going to get those well deserved flowers. And we've talked about the Midnight Marauders album, among others, on this show before. And yes, they are definitely one of those groups that were pioneers in this game. And it's going to be great to see them get celebrated on that kind of stage. Looking forward to
Yeah.
that ceremony later this year.
Yeah, that'll be dope, man. When is it coming out?
No, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is usually like around like late October, early November.
Okay, so it's gonna be like later this year. All right.
Yeah, we talked about it a few months ago when Missy got in and Cool Herc got in. We talked about that like on the early
Yeah, I
November.
remember that. Yeah, that was when we first started the pod. So yeah, shows. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that, man. Shouts
Cool.
out to those artists getting their props.
Yeah, Cool and the Gang too. Cool and the Gang is also mad dope. I actually got to see them in concert like when I was in Vegas.
Oh, that's pretty random.
Part of many hits. Yeah, they had that song Celebration. They had that song
Oh
Summer
yeah.
Madness. Get Down on It. She's Fresh. Tonight. Cherish the Love. Yo, they've had hits for days.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Yeah, they do. I
Yeah, they're
know those
legit.
songs, but I know that was them who actually made those songs. That's dope though. They
And
had
I'm telling you,
yeah.
just from going to their concert, they're legit real musicians. Like all the different instruments they play and all that. Yo, they're the real
Yeah,
deal,
they're
son. I'm telling
like a
you.
real real band. How did you end up
Yeah, it
going
was a
to that
good.
concert? Like,
I used to know their manager. Like when I worked at Bahama Breeze in Florida, the bartender there, he had a brother who would always come in, and I would talk to him sometimes. I come to find out he was their manager.
oh wow,
So they were like in Vegas once, and I ended up just going to their concert because I wanted to, just go check it out.
oh wow, they definitely should have kept in contact with them. It's a good contact.
I kind of do, but we kind of get into political debates nowadays, so it's not as much of a good
Oh, okay,
vibe. Because
I got you.
Ben
All right.
knows very well, and you know very well my stances on a lot of the stuff going on these days. And he, while I do respect him, he has the perspective of like kind of the old school mentality of still voting for the same shit and supporting the same shit, even though it's like not really working anymore.
I got you. So I hear you. So it's another topic for another show.
Yeah, it's all
This ain't
good. Ben knows.
MSNBC or Fox News. This is shifting the culture for the birds.
Say that for the birds.
All right. Anyway, and also Eminem, while he was at the NFL draft a few days ago, announced that his 12th album, "Death of Slim Shady," will be dropping this summer.
Wow, 12th? You said 12th album?
12th album.
Damn. Yo, I checked out in like the third or the fourth.
The last one wasn't bad.
Like I hear the way he raps, he's still a fucking beast. You know what I'm saying? Like even on his newer shit, like I hear some of the like bars that he drops, and I'm like, damn, he still got it. I just don't really like. Just like I haven't heard really any of Drake's albums. I haven't heard any of his new albums.
His last album, like of his newer ones that I really liked a lot, was Recovery, and that was like in 2010. All of his other ones since then that I've heard have been like just okay and decent, but I'll say as far as this one goes, I'm kind of checking for it, but not really checking for it at the same time.
I thought the last well wasn't the one Kamikaze. That was the last one. I think that one was straight though.
That was pretty good. That was the one with Godzilla or
It
whatever.
was fine, but I'm saying as far as like one I really liked a lot that I was playing over and over again, the last one I felt that way for was Recovery.
Yeah, it's just hard, man. Especially when you reach the levels that he reached in his peak. It's hard to like really duplicate that same energy, especially if you take like such a long break. It's hard to get back to that.
It's also that, but also when he came out, he was like super hungry. He was like coming from like a life of like a lot of hardships, and he was rapping a lot about that. And then, like, for the last, I don't know, 10 to 15 years at least, if not 20, that hasn't been the case for him. He's been this like
Yeah.
super famous, super rich person, and I guess he has less content to really bring out. So initially, I liked him because he was an amazing lyricist, great rapper, great flow, great everything. But also, he was like a whole personality. He was like a whole character. He had his whole story. He was very like controversial, but he also was very smart. He said a lot of real shit. And now I feel like he's still very good, but it's just mostly technique. It's mostly flow. It's mostly wordplay. It's mostly rhyming. But there's personality is gone.
The hunger, yeah.
And
the
another
hunger.
Character, that story is gone. It doesn't exist.
And another thing you guys forgot to mention, he doesn't do drugs anymore.
Yeah, that's what that would affect your music, especially if he's intoxicated when he's creating his.
I always heard people.
Yeah, I heard for friends, better or for worse, because on his first album it helped him out, but on like at least on Relapse or Encore, the drugs were not doing him any favors.
Yeah, I always heard friends say before that like sobriety killed Eminem's music.
Possibly, some artists they need that those extra elements to help them be creative and to put out the music that people like.
I don't know if it's true or not, but someone told me, it might just be a bullshit rumor, but someone told me that he used to take ecstasy every time he would go in the booth to record like a song for his album or whatever. So I don't know if that's really true or not.
I mean, he had that song called Drug Ballad.
Yeah, that was a great fucking song, by the way. Great song.
Oh yeah. That whole album's incredible. That's by far my favorite album from start to finish of his.
I mean, I liked his first four pretty much. If you count Infinite, then Infinite, Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem Show, and 8 Mile, which wasn't really his album, but all 5 of those
close enough.
And then the first D12 album, second D12 album, when he was doing like the music with them, and all his features and mixtapes throughout that. Battles, disses throughout that period of time. I thought and then also like in the beginning of 50 Cent's career and whatnot, I thought he was like one of the fucking best. But then, for a while he dipped and then he came back up again. Then he dipped, came back up again. But even, like we were talking about battles earlier, none of these dudes dropped the kill shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's still probably the best diss to come out since his last one. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He killed that shit, bro. God.
I know it won't happen because he has better things to do, but I would just love for him to put fucking Benzino in his place one more time.
Benzino's asking for it.
Just for old time's sake. For old time's sake.
I saw Benzino went to his mom's spaghetti restaurant to shoot a video there and like ordered the spaghetti. Because Eminem has like a restaurant called Mom's Spaghetti in Detroit. So he went there and shot like a music video there and like ordered the spaghetti and ate it and then like threw it on the floor and like took the sign and put the sign in his car and had someone like videotape it all on social media.
Wow.
Yeah. Petty bullshit, but
the things that people do just to go viral, man. Just
that guy's a weirdo.
Like, come pull up in my crib and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think Eminem's at that restaurant? You think he just works the line? Like, what are you doing?
Eminem is on an island somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He's nowhere near that restaurant. He has his crew running the restaurant for him.
They say he's very like 9 to 5 about his music career. Well, no, but also very like wakes up, has his coffee or his breakfast, gets in the studio by 9, out by 5, like regular work hours. And even if he's got like a fire shit, he's like, all right, we'll meet up at the studio tomorrow. Like, he won't come in that night and do it.
He doesn't have to.
He's very different from a lot of other artists.
If he's trying to get like popular or get known, then yeah, it makes sense to go more all in. But he's already established. He's already has money. He's already has legacy. So now he's probably at the point where he just want to put other artists on and run his label and do other business ventures. So he just doesn't. It's something that to do, but it's not his main thing anymore.
And to be with his kids for that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember he skipped the Oscars when he won the Oscar for 8 Mile just to hang out with his kids at home. Good dad.
Nice. The funniest Oscar story was, I don't know if y'all fuck with South Park like that, but I love South Park. So the creators of South Park, when they did the South Park movie, they got nominated for the song "Blame Canada" for like the Oscar for the best like original song from a
Oh
movie.
shit, they did get
So
nominated.
they were obviously invited. Yeah, they were invited to the Oscars, and these motherfuckers, bro, these two dudes, dressed up in like female dresses. Like one of them had that J-Lo dress, the V-cut J-Lo dress. The other one had some other famous dress, and ate acid and pulled up in the Oscars wearing dresses, tripping on acid.
Oh my god.
And like it's not their first acid trip. You can tell they're kind of in control, you know. Like so, like they've probably done this a million times before. I mean, not at the Oscars. That has to be weird, but like generally. And then anytime they were being interviewed about the movie or the song, they would answer all the questions like legit. But anytime they were asked about why they're wearing dresses, they would just ignore the question and be like, "Oh, what a magical night! So fabulous!" or whatever. Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, it's mad crazy, but let's get into some of our anniversaries real fast, and I cannot fucking wait for this part of the show. And our first anniversary, we take you back to 30 years ago this week. On April 26, 1994, we had the release of ATL's own Outkast's very first album, Southernplayalistic and that's all one word.
What a fucking classic, bro! God damn. I think I might be one of the few people that like that it might be my favorite Outkast album. I
The
mean,
first one.
I put it up there with Aquemini. I put it up there with Aquemini and maybe Stankonia as a third, but I love this fucking album, bro. God damn.
Yeah, definitely a dope album. Definitely. Well, this was Outkast before like Andre 3000 started changing his clothes and doing all this crazy stuff. So this is like the original Outkast when they first came out, when they were first like hungry and putting on for Atlanta. So it was dope to see how they evolved over the years and became like one of the best hip hop groups of all time. So
Yeah.
shouts out to them, and having a vision of putting this album together and like even the singles "Players Ball" was a dope track. The title track "Southernplayalistic Cadillac Music." Also,
So,
"Get Up and Get Out"
yeah, with
was another
CeeLo,
dope track on there.
with Goody Mob, CeeLo on that hook.
Yeah, you need to get up, get out, and get something. Don't waste all your time trying to get high. You need to get up, get out, and get something.
Cause you and I gotta do for you and I. Crumbling Herb was a good smoking song.
And
Funky Ride was the baby music song, baby making music song.
Funky Ride is my shit. Funky Ride is like the dopest
That's
song.
baby making music. Though.
Let me take you on a funky ride. Yo, that shit slaps.
But honestly, one of the best intros ever. And honestly, I feel like maybe all the albums we'll talk about today kind of have really good first tracks, but one of the illest intros ever to any song, any album in hip hop is, I mean, it's not like the intro Peaches, that's just a skit, but the first song, My Intro to Let You Know, god damn, bro, this shit is so fire. Like, the beat, like everybody kills it, but Andre's verse on that shit, bro, he has this like rhyme scheme in the end of his verse where he's comparing like his the way he makes music to selling dope. Yo, this shit is so fire, bro. Oh my god.
Another classic song we can't forget. Definitely one that stands out. Hootie hoo.
Oh, Hootie Hoo. Hootie Hoo, but okay.
Oh yeah.
What are your favorite songs from the album?
What kind of name? I kind of not name mine. I would say the Players Ball and Get Up and Get Out, and then the Southern Playalistic. Those would
Okay.
be my favorites. Well, you can go ahead, Kurt.
Funky Ride, especially after jamming to it over the weekend. That one I really like a lot more than I did before. I'm not sure what it was, but like just from listening to the album recently, that one like really hit me in a way it never did before. That one I'll put in there. Southernplayalistic, the title track, I'll also put in there too. I like that Dusty
Hell
Rose
yeah.
line. Where you drop these bows like Dusty Rose. Yo, that shit slaps.
Yeah.
Also, Hootie Hoo.
Hootie Hoo for sure.
I liked how they used Hootie Hoo in that movie Neighbors. I really liked how they
Yeah,
used it as like a way to
they're Hootie Hooing, they're Hootie Hooing. So I think my intro to Let You Know is one of the best on there. Ain't No Thing is fucking crazy. I don't know how you guys didn't say that one. Claimin' True is also a very good song. And Deep, bro, you want to go deep? I'll take you deep. You know, you fucked up when you let my mind creep deeper than a page of a book. Let me look. Yo, they fucking killed that shit, bro. I think those are definitely. I mean, obviously, Southernplayalistic and Get Up and Get Out, and like all the ones you guys mentioned as well. But I think those definitely deserve like.
No, I got to give it another listen. I haven't listened to it in a minute. I'm kind of going off of memory, but it's been a while. But yeah.
Crumble and Herb, too, man. Crumble and Herb was a good smoking song.
Yeah, definitely got to go tap back into that album. But yeah, definitely. Did you guys know that Diddy actually produced the video for Players Ball?
He did. Yes, he did.
That's crazy.
Yes, I did know that.
Didn't they blow up off Players Ball getting into like the Christmas album or some shit? Like into
that was their first single.
That
was the first single.
That's what I was going to talk about. Players Ball was like a song that was going to be a part of the LaFace Christmas compilation album, and it blew up so much that they asked like a whole album like that, which is how Southernplayalistic came about.
Yeah, that was a dope video.
Well, that's really the only one that sounds like it. The only one on that album that sounds like it is Southernplayalistic. And then they end the album with a Players Ball reprise, like the remix or whatever.
Actually, that one's dope too. The reprise is also dope.
Yeah. The whole album's dope. It's a no-skip album for me. I don't know about you guys. It's a no-skip album for me.
I don't know if you know, but in Atlanta, like the Players Ball is like a Christmas get-together they do out here during Christmas time. All the players came from far wide.
All right, what's next?
Well, before we move on, we gotta definitely shout out to Rico Wade, who passed away, a longtime producer for Outkast, for Organized Noise. He passed away last week. He was only like 52 years old. So yeah, rest in peace to him. He definitely they just had his funeral the other day. And I think Outkast, the whole Outkast and Dungeon family and whole crew were out there to pay their respects. So definitely got to shout him out because he contributed a lot to Outkast and also to the South and hip hop as a whole. So rest in peace to him and his crew.
Yeah, rest in peace to him. And one more point, similar to what we talked about with Illmatic with Nas from last week, this album from Outkast, nobody else had an album out like this at the time. In '94, nobody had an album with this production, this rapping style, this whole vibe. Yeah, this shit was definitely
the production was fire on this. The production on this album was great. I mean,
and this album pretty much would lead to that famous speech of the Source Awards where Outkast won the Best New Artist Award and got booed. And then Andre said that famous line, the South got something to say too. Because he was basically tired at that point of like people like shitting on the South and not giving them a chance. And just from that speech on, that's kind of like what really gave them an even bigger following.
Yeah, I mean, the album was like number 20 on the charts, and eventually it went platinum, like down the road, not when it first came out, but
not right away. It took a little while.
I mean, and like the Source gave him 4.5 out of 5. I would have probably given him a 5 on that one, but I guess because they were too new or something. But
yeah, those 5 mics, yeah, very few albums have gotten those. Yeah, they'll always get like 4 or 4.5, but yeah, very few would get the 5.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 4.5 is pretty much like a 5, but like they didn't have all the extracurricular shit to like deserve a 5. But it's like pretty much as close as it gets.
All right, but let's get on to our next anniversary. I know you guys are really looking forward to this one. As 1 year later, on April 25th, 1995, we had the release of Mobb Deep's second album, The Infamous.
Oh my God.
And we were talking about earlier how like Drake doesn't really have a classic album or like a one that like really stands out. Like an Illmatic or a 36 Chambers, he never really had that. But I will say The Infamous from Mobb Deep is their Illmatic. Like this is by far the album that put them on the map and probably the album they're most known for and will always be most known for.
It's probably their best album. I mean, I love a lot of their songs off Hell on Earth and Murder Music, and even some of their newer shit, and even some of their older shit. Like I'm a huge Mobb Deep fan, but honestly, The Infamous is probably their best album. Not only in the sense that it has some of their best songs, like Shook Ones and stuff, and Survival of the Fittest and whatnot, but also it's just again a no skip album, bro. It starts off like. Bro, Start of Your Ending is one of the illest intros to an album. It just
Yeah.
sets the tone. And to go off Start of Your Ending to Survival of the Fittest and then Eye for an Eye, like three hard ass, like perfect back to back tracks like that. Bro, how you start an album like that, bro? What the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? And they had that song with, they had Nas on this shit and the other song with Raekwon and Ghostface, Right Back at You. That was the Wu Chronicles album. That song is so hard, bro. And I mean, we don't need to even say anything about Shook Ones, like, you know what I'm saying? But yo, this album is amazing, bro. I mean, I would put Hectic up there too as one of my favorite songs. Hectic was a great.
Oh, Hectic goes hard. Hectic is some fucking
Man,
yeah.
this whole album, man.
So the album after Eye for an Eye, when it gets into Give Up the Goods, it's when it starts. Give Up the Goods is hard, but also smooth. Like, and then it goes into like a smooth thing with Give Up the Goods, Temperatures Rising, Up North Trip, and then Strife Life is also still smooth, but kind of shifts back into being hard. So like Give Up the Goods kind of is where it shifts from hard to smooth, and then in like Strife Life it shifts from smooth back to hard, and then it hits you with like Hectic, which is like hard as fuck. But yeah. And they had Q-Tip.
This is crazy.
They got Drink Away the Pain, right?
yes.
I think Q-Tip.
Yeah, Q-Tip was on Drink Away the Pain. Yeah, he was on there.
Yeah. And I don't know if Big Noid was ever on Juvenile Hell or not, but I think this might have been.
He was on Give Up the Goods. But not on, I don't know about Juvenile Hell though. I can't
So I'm saying this might have been like his first time, like being like introduced with Mobb Deep, because he did a lot of music with him after that, So I think this.
Yeah, he was on pretty much all their albums.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was on Juvenile Hell or not, but I feel like maybe this is the first time like I remember hearing him, because I only got into Juvenile. Oh, he was on Juvenile Hell, but I only got into Juvenile Hell like in retrospect when I like backtracked to listen to it.
Yeah, I never really listened to the album because I didn't really know them until this album came out, because this is when they really became like known. Everybody knew the album cover and then obviously Shook Ones, but I would say Shook Ones was so big that people forget about how many other classic songs were on this album. Like Shook Ones is like all the way towards like the end of the album, and like even without that song on there, this album is like a classic. Like that's how big this album is.
Take Shook Ones off, it's a classic for sure, bro. For sure. And it's great that Havoc did most of the production on this, like a little bit Q-Tip and whatnot, but it was mostly Havoc producing the shit. So, and honestly, as a producer, his rhymes are good, his verses are great. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, not Prodigy great, because if he had better raps and did the beats, he wouldn't really need Prodigy. But low key, people don't really like to say this. Like after this album, and even through like the next album, Prodigy was one of the best rappers in New York, man. He was in that
not just
station,
not just New York, just as
they were
as a whole.
Yeah, as a whole, for sure. But he was kind of like contending for that King of New York crown,
Yeah, he's definitely up there. And go back to your last point with Havoc, man. He's definitely one of the best producers / rappers that's ever been. And he's had some classic bars. He's held his own alongside Prodigy and other rappers who've been on, countless of other songs have been on.
And you know what? Like I always felt like with Mobb Deep, their beats are amazing and the raps are amazing, but when you put the two together, it's greater than the sum of its parts. Like they're just a vibe. Like their beats and their complement each other perfectly. And even if you hear like other albums with better raps or better this, it's just not the same. They just set up their own sound, similar to Outkast with their album. Like no one had something that sounded like this,
Yeah, they definitely carved out their own lane.
Yeah, that's the thing with Mobb Deep, is that especially when you listen to this album, you really get that gritty Queensbridge vibe. And Havoc just being the one who produced most of it, that album would not sound the same or even be as good without him doing most of the production. It was kind of a contrast from Illmatic, where like Illmatic, you got their perspective of Queensbridge from Nas, like, like just living there. But from the Infamous, you got the perspective of Queensbridge from dudes who were like really about that life and really into that life. King Khan would like this comparison I'm about to make. Illmatic was Boys in the Hood, and the Infamous was Menace to Society.
Yeah, I can give you that because Nas was kind of like, kind of like giving an overview of what was going on, but Mobb Deep was a little bit more detailed about they were actually in it, getting their hands dirty and getting caught up
Yeah,
with a
Mobb
lot
Deep
of
were basically,
stuff.
yeah, Mobb Deep to me are basically like O-Dog and Kane.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love Illmatic. It's one of my favorite albums ever. I think it's like a timeless classic masterpiece. I think it's my favorite album from Nas, which is saying a lot. I can't, like, I have a hard time taking this album over Illmatic. I mean, taking Illmatic over. I won't take Infamous over Illmatic, but like they're almost on the same level for me.
Yeah, this album was really great, man. It's one of the best albums of all time in hip hop.
Yeah, and no skips, bro. No skips.
And I would say it's probably my favorite album from that year, 95, besides Do or Die from AZ.
Oh, yo, AZ is so underrated, bro. He like smokes Nas on almost every song they have.
Very underrated.
Amazing. Bro.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I don't really remember what else came out in 95, but I think Redman dropped in 95 or
Cuban Links?
Maybe not.
Cuban Links from Raekwon?
Muddy Waters?
That's an amazing fucking... Yeah, that was 95, right?
I think it was like 94, 95, but that's a really good album, that Redman album.
Hell yeah.
Also,
for sure. But also, yeah,
Cuban Links was an amazing... Muddy Waters was 96.
Okay.
Also, Me Against the World from Pac was also 95.
Oh, that was a really good album, too. Yeah.
Those years, 94, 95, 96, 97, some great albums came out.
All the 90s, man. 93, bro.
94 to 98.
98. Next came out with 2 back-to-back albums, bro. The 90s were the shit. 99? Yeah. 99, we got to Cal 2000, Redman Malpractice, or no, was it Duck's the name? And then also Blackout, Method Man and Redman Blackout. That was one of the best albums ever, bro. That album
had a lot of joints on there, yeah.
Tying into King Khan, I would say, like, as someone who grew up during that era, the best years of the 90s were by far from 94 to 98.
Yeah, dope years. Can't compete. Those are like the golden era.
The early 90s were great too, but 94 to 98 was like really the good, like the real good.
Wu-Tang was 94 or 93?
Wu-Tang was 93.
Wu-Tang was 94 or
Wu-Tang
93.
was 93.
So you got to say 93 to 98, bro. I'm sorry.
Nah, but Wu-Tang...
Leave into the 36 out of that shit, bro.
But Wu-Tang was the end of 93, so it was practically 94.
94 when they started really popping like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that album was like one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle, bro.
Yeah, that one too.
Nah, I get it, but I'm telling you, bro, we grew up doing this shit like as it was going on.
Well, before we wrap up on Mobb Deep, I don't know if you guys know this, but they're dropping a new Mobb Deep album, and the guy that's going to replace Prodigy is going to be Method Man. Shit's going to be fucking crazy, bro.
I heard something like that, so yeah, we'll see. I want to see it. I'm interested to hear it.
It's coming out under the name Mobb Deep, and it's Havoc and Method Man, bro. What?
That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Method's still a beast, bro. He's in my top 5, man. He's amazing.
He still dropped. He's still jumping on songs here and there. He has a really good song with Conway the Machine, and he has another song with Lloyd Banks that he just came out with recently.
Oh yeah, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah. You could look it up. It's called the one with and then another song with Dave East too. So he's definitely been doing his thing.
Yeah, but
the last couple years.
Yeah, Ben. One thing you won't agree with King Khan on is the opinion on Cal 2000. I think I told you before he's not really a fan.
Bro, that album is so slept on. I think he out-raps like half the rappers ever on that album. I think you need to give it another listen. There's a lot of skits on it. But bro, I'm telling you, now like as you're like, older and whatnot, go back, listen to Cal 2000, Judgment Day, but forget the skits, just the actual tracks. Bro, one of the best hip hop albums ever made, bro. Fucking
I'm gonna give another chance. I don't know. At that time when the album came out, I felt like it was I guess too ahead of its time, and it was on that Y2K.
The first time I heard it, I didn't like it. The first time I heard it, I didn't like it. Only years later that I like listened to it again, I was like, oh my fucking god, this shit is insane, bro. I'm telling you, do yourself a favor. Find one night, just throw it on. It's like 27 tracks or something, but like 10 of them are
Yeah, it's pretty
skits.
long.
But you still got like 17 songs in there, bro. And they're all fire, like beginning to end. Every bar he spits there is crazy. And all the songs he has with Street Life, when him and Street Life go back and forth, bro. Oh my
Hmm.
God.
Now I'm gonna give it another listen.
But yeah, go back to listen to the Infamous if you haven't listened to it in a long time. It's an incredible album. The fucking production, the rhymes, and everything about it put together just makes it special. Definitely a good use of an hour of your time. If you are a hardcore hip hop head, go back and listen to this shit. And if you've never listened to it before, go listen to this shit right now. You are missing out. Let's move on to our next anniversary. As the very next day, we had the release of the Ice Cube classic, Friday, starring Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, also John Witherspoon, the late Tommy Tiny Lister Jr., also Bernie Mac was in it, Faison Love, among a laundry list of other people that were in it. And King Khan, I know you actually saw this movie in the theaters when it came out back in 1995. What was your initial vibe of the movie when it came out, and what did you think of it compared to some of Ice Cube's last projects before this?
No, I just thought it was dope, man. Everybody, I love this movie. I thought it was hilarious. I love like the all the cameos that were in the movie. I thought it was, Chris Tucker did his thing. He was mad funny in the movie, and then even the soundtrack to go with the movie was even dope. So just when you put everything together, it just was a great time for the culture, and it's a hood classic, man. Like to this day, you can recite like pretty much everything that happened in the movie word for word, and just the classic characters, the movie soundtrack, just everything. Like I said, that was a part of that movie Friday. Just made it what it was today and be known as a classic. So interesting to hear what you guys think about that movie, how that impacted you.
Um, I was not like one of the people that kind of grew up on it. I definitely saw it. I definitely saw the second one. I'm not sure if they ever did the third one or not. I think they did. I'm not even sure I saw that
Yeah,
one.
they
But
did.
I don't remember it as well as you guys. So I'm not really the best person to talk about this. I do remember liking it. I do remember a lot of good like lines and scenes and popular memes that came out of it, and like a lot of the characters. I definitely remember the characters. I like the characters, and like you said, Chris Tucker, man, I love Chris Tucker. Like he'll just make anything better for me. Like I always watch some Chris Tucker shit, whether it's a stand up or his movies. Like he made Rush Hour. He probably made Friday. Like he's one of those people that just make the
Yeah, he was
difference.
definitely one of the stands out of this whole movie. And yeah, taking him out of the original Friday, it is not the same movie at all. Say what you want about him, like playing a stereotype and all that, and I
Nah.
can understand why he wanted to walk away from the franchise because of that. But the Smokey character, bro, he killed it. He killed it playing that character. That was good ass acting.
Yeah, I think
I'm
everybody did a good job, man. Like the dad, Debo, like everybody played their part in the movie that made it dope.
Yeah, that was my favorite part about it. Was a lot of
Yeah,
the
and it's so
characters,
crazy.
good characters.
Ice Cube and DJ Pooh kind of put the movie together, like to give the hood a different perspective than like what they were doing with movies at the time. Because at the time they were doing hood movies, but they were like very serious, very violent, and all that jazz. But they wanted to show the perspective of the hood that was funny, where there was a lot of comedy, where there was like a lot of good times and fun going on. Yo, it paid off well. And I've always maintained if you can do good
Yeah.
comedy, if you can put like good comedy together, that shit will blow the fuck up. And honestly, looking at it now, it was this movie, even though Ice Cube had other movies before this, it was this movie that really solidified his acting career. Where like he could have retired from rapping from this point if he wanted to.
Yeah, I took it to the
And
next level.
and honestly, it's so funny. The inspiration kind of came from writing this movie from John Singleton, because John Singleton told him when they were doing Boys in the Hood, if you can write a song, you can write a movie, and the rest is history.
Yeah, man. Just another character I forgot to mention was also Big Worm. That was another dope character in the movie, man. So just the creativity, Ice Cube putting that movie together and getting the right actors and having the right characters in the movie, just everything put together made that movie like timeless, man.
Even Megan Good was in it when she was a kid. Yeah, if you like watch closely at the scene with Big Worm at the ice cream truck, you could see her.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. That Nia Long was in the
Yeah,
movie too. She was mad young, but she was in it.
God, peak fineness Leo
Yeah,
Long too. Peak fineness Leo Long.
yeah, it was dope, man.
And Tiny Lister, he did a great job playing Debo. Yeah, he was very believable as like the neighborhood bully who you didn't want to fuck with. And then it just built to the point where Ice Cube eventually has to fight him in the end, and then Ice Cube eventually beats him. Yeah, just a well done, put together movie. And the dopest part about it, it all takes place over the course of just one day.
Yeah, it was dope. What was that comedian's name? That I think it was Anthony Arnez or something like that. Anthony something. He was the dude that says, "Yo, Smokey's back here taking a shit." Remember him?
Anthony Johnson.
Anthony Johnson. Yeah, he was a good comedian back in the '90s, but he was in there, and he had some funny scenes in there as well. So it was an all-star cast, man.
Regina King was in it too. Also Regina King, and she's big now.
was
She's even bigger now than she ever was.
The mom Dukes, I forgot. She was a popular. She was in the Wayans Brothers. She was
Anna Maria Horsford. Yeah, she was in it too.
Yeah.
She was the mom.
And then Pops, you already know. Yeah, R.I.P.
Bernie Mac also had a cameo.
Bernie Mac. That's another reason why they can't come out with that movie, because
I love Bernie Mac, man. Bernie Mac is the shit, bro.
There were so many people who were in that movie that made that movie dope that have passed away. So I could see why they can't really come out with a third one.
Ice Cube even said it at John Witherspoon's memorial that they wanted to do another Friday, but New Line Cinema was fucking around, and then they weren't able to do it in time for John Witherspoon to be alive for it.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
So I feel like that ship has sailed already. So just appreciate what we got, the classic, 2-3 movies that we got from the franchise, and it is what it is, man.
And also, I can't blame Chris Tucker for like not really going back to it, because I remember John Witherspoon, before he died, did an interview with Vlad TV, and he was talking about like how much money Chris Tucker got paid for it, and he only got paid I think $5,000 for the first Friday.
Oh wow!
Yeah, apparently he got back shit for it. Yeah, I heard that shit too.
Yeah, and the Rush Hour movies, he was making like however many $1 million just for one of them. So you can't knock him for not wanting to go back to the Fridays when he's making that.
Yeah, he hasn't done shit.
No, bro. If they're not offering you money, they're not appreciating you there. They don't. That just like it sends a statement that you're not important for the movie, because that movie's making more than $5,000, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like other actors in it are making more than $5,000. That's kind of fucked up,
Yeah, at that time he wasn't really known, but I don't think they expected that movie to blow up the way it did. So I see why he didn't get paid that much. But yeah, I understand.
Well, I mean, he could have gotten a bonus in retrospect off the strength of how good it did, or at least a better offer for the second one. But it doesn't seem like that was the case.
Yeah,
he became a born again.
I get it. I understand.
He also became a born again Christian around this time, like a little while after the first Friday also. So he didn't really want to play those kind of stereotypical roles. So I also get
yeah. Plus he had kids. He didn't want to leave that type of vision for his kids to see him like that. So
and like I said a few minutes ago, I love the Smokey character. He killed it playing that character. But granted, it is a negative stereotype. And I can get why he wouldn't want to portray that.
Yeah.
But still, classic movie. Definitely still holds up 29 years later, and fucking hilarious. But the two things I would say that stand out most about it are the setting and also the cast. The cast is definitely where the movie shines the most.
Yeah.
Well, like when I cook, I always say like my food is only going to be as good as the ingredients. So that's when you do a movie. Your movie's only going to be as good as the things you put in it.
Yep.
You got to be careful and learn from Craig's mistakes, because you don't want to be somebody who gets fired on the day off. Yeah, that shit's not a good look.
Yeah.
All right, but let's move on to our last anniversary, as today, as of our recording, marks the 26-year anniversary of Big Pun's debut album, Capital Punishment. And holy
Let's
fucking
go!
shit. We talk about classic hip-hop albums, not even just from the 90s, but just period. This is fucking one of them. Bro, I can't even put into words how incredible and just how fucking dope Capital Punishment is. From the tracks, even to the fucking skits, which we'll get into in a few minutes, there's like not really anything you can.
Some of the best skits in any hip hop album
ever, man. Hilarious.
Yeah, King Khan and I have talked about this before on the podcast about how skits have kind of become a lost art in albums these days, and this one had plenty of skits.
Yeah, like packing the Mac in the back of the act, packing the Mac in the back of
the
I was about to mention
that. Yo, that's such a classic, bro. That's such a classic.
Yo, wasn't there like another skit where he was like, he went and shot somebody?
Well, Back in the Mac is two. It's Back in the Mac 1 and
Oh
Back in
yeah,
the
yeah,
Mac
that was,
2.
it was the same. It was two different skits, but the same
And
thing.
then in between them is the song "You Ain't a Killer,"
Yeah, that
right?
was
So
a dope ass
you ain't
track,
a
man.
killer, you still learning how to walk. Yeah, that was a great song. So that's in between Back in the Mac 1 and Back in the Mac 2.
Man, that album, man, I wrote out to that album like every day when it came out. I was at school. I remember listening to
Even
it.
the intro was a good skit. That intro was a good skit too. When he's like, X-Men go down, Superman go down, all this
Yeah, the
shit.
Punisher.
Punisher taking
The Punisher
everybody.
taking all of them cat. That was a kid from one of
Yeah,
those
It's
movies.
called
yeah,
Fresh. It's a movie called Fresh.
yeah. That
Yeah,
shit
that
was
movie Fresh.
dope,
That
bro.
was a hard ass movie.
Yeah, it was.
Pause.
It
That
was.
Fresh. That movie Fresh.
Yeah,
People forget about that movie, but that movie was dope
yeah,
when it came out. Man, it was like a '90s movie.
yeah. And, and then just like how we said that Southern Playalistic started with My Intro to Let You Know, which was like a hard ass track to start with, and then the Infamous started with the Start of Your Ending, which was a hard ass track to start with. This album started with
Yeah.
Oh
Beware,
my god,
bro. The fucking Mobb Deep sample, that dark ass beat, those crazy fucking verses, like what a tone to set like for the album, and then to follow it up with super lyrical.
The
This dude
Black
had a
Thought.
track with Black Thought from the. Oh
and the
my
Rocky Four
god,
sample on that
bro!
too.
What?
And the
Yo!
Rocky Four sample on it too with Adrian's voice. It's suicide. You
Oh
can't
yeah,
win.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see how
Yes,
strong he
Rocky
is?
Four.
Yo, that shit was so fire, bro. Yeah, god damn, this shit was so
And
dope,
Punish
bro.
Me.
No, man, just from
Punish Me is like one of his better love songs by far. I think Punish Me is better than Still Not a Player, honestly.
What are your favorite songs from the album? Because honestly, like when I was looking at the other two albums, which are also no skip albums, I feel like this is also a no skip album. If I had to pick like standout favorite songs, this one might have more than any of them. Like,
yeah.
not to say it's a better album, but there's so many like standout
Yeah,
songs
you
on it.
came up.
Okay, well that was cool, but there's so many other songs that are so much better than that. You Ain't a Killer, obviously the Glamour Life.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, hell
I'm
yeah,
Not a Player, the
hell yeah.
original one,
Glamour
not
Life
the
was
commercial one,
amazing,
the
bro.
original one.
Ooh, my
There's I'm Not a
darling,
Player, and there's
You
darling,
got
yeah,
Twins with
yeah.
Fat Joe, which is definitely a classic. They're going back and forth, and then you
Ooh,
have,
Dead in the middle of
ooh.
Little
and
Italy, riddle
then
that we know we riddle to
and then
middle.
this is probably one of my
Diddly.
favorites, Tres Leches with Prodigy and Spectre Deck. They all murdered that song.
Prodigy, Lioness, the Rebel, yo, what
Oh,
a beat too, and
that
hook
song is
coming in the
ridiculous.
stereo. Woo. Yeah, but I think also Caribbean Connection with Wyclef
Yeah, that
was
was dope. That
fire,
was
bro.
fire too.
Beat, God, and Capital Punishment, the title track Prospect was amazing. And honestly, you came up with Nori, bro. That was that beat, that
I was
hook.
talking about.
You came up, what, making it happen. And obviously, like you said, You Ain't a Killer. I put Beware and Super Lyrical in there too. And yo,
Yeah.
just
Yo,
lyrics
we just named
wise,
the
like
whole
verses,
album. We just named the whole every song
I
on
know,
the album.
but bro, verses,
Boomerang.
Dream
How the fuck y'all
Shatterer.
gonna forget about Boomerang?
Oh, Boomerang! Hell yeah, you a Boomerang. Also, honestly, Fast Money was really good. The skit Rain and Sun with a dude from Dead Prez was great. But like, yo, Dream Shatterer had some of the best fucking verses too, man. He
I
fucking
shatter
went
your
hard
dreams
on
like
Dream.
I shatter your dreams like Jordan. Yo,
Oh shit!
damn, yo, no,
He said,
this album was
I
peak
mean,
lyricism. This album, man.
"Yeah, bro, he's on some other shit. This album is crazy. The beats, the hooks, the fucking verses, like, yo, and it's a long album, bro. Like a really long album.
Yeah, and this a lot of albums weren't this long at that time.
it goes by pretty fast though. Even though it's an hour long, it goes by pretty fast.
Bro, there's 16 songs on this shit. Even the last one, Parental Discretion with
24.
Busta was nice. I mean, no, 24 is with the skits, but like 8 of them are skits. There's like 16 full fucking songs on this shit.
And they all slap. The
Yeah.
features are dope. The
Yeah,
production,
it's crazy.
the lyrics, like just he was just ahead of his time, man. First platinum Latin artist.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
first,
It's the first solo Latin hip hop album to go platinum.
yep. And I remember having that the CD, and I had that picture. Remember when Big
Oh
Pun
shit!
has that
When
girl
he
with the
has this,
Statue of Liberty is holding on to
Yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yo, and
yeah.
I had that
yes,
picture like on my wall for like years, man.
Yo,
That was a
listen,
yeah, I
dope
remember
picture,
that.
man.
he peaked at the number 5 spot on the Billboard chart, like at his peak. And I mean, he got a
Yeah, Still
4 out
Not a
of
Player was
5.
huge.
He got a
Not a Prayer was a huge
4.5
single.
instead of, I mean, Southcast got a 4.5 out of 5. He only got a 4 out of 5 on the source. But honestly, I feel like this is a 5 out of
No,
5.
I think it's a 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
I give it a 5. I think
I
they need
don't
to go back and
know.
re-rate this album.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one, to be honest, man. You know?
No, this album was dope. What year was it? 97, right? 96?
98, bro. It was 98.
98.
Oh, 98, my bad. Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely one of the best albums. This album and DMX's, and there was X.
What?
I mean, It's Dark as Hell is Hot. My bad. My bad. It's Dark as Hell is Hot.
Well,
Those
no,
two albums I was riding out that summer.
DMX dropped 2 albums that year, bro. 2 great albums that year.
Yeah, but
the first
My
one's the
Flesh
best.
wasn't as good.
But the first one hit like a nuclear bomb, yo. That first one.
The second one is also amazing, but the first one's definitely his best album ever.
Yeah, there's certain times in hip hop that certain albums drop and things just stop. This when that DMX album dropped, shit like slow down. Time slowed down when that album dropped.
And we have the anniversary of that one in 2 weeks, and we're gonna have your brother on the show for that one.
For DMX, that makes sense. He grew up with that album for sure.
Yeah, I remember he was heavy in the Rough Riders when I first met him.
Yeah, but out of the 3 albums we mentioned, like this was the lowest rated. It's crazy because the Infamous also got a 4.5, Southern Playalistic got a 4.5, and this one got a 4. I think that's kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie.
I would say out of the three we've been talking about today, I would say, fuck. It's between this one and the Infamous that are the best. It's hard for me to pick which one I like more. I'll put as third.
For me, all 3 of them are just perfect albums. I can't.
You can't go wrong with either one. Anyone you pick, they're all classic in their own right, and they're all different. They're all like different times and the different
vibes,
different parts of the United States. Different vibes, so it was just dope, man. Dope music.
Yeah, and just tying into some of my favorite tracks in the album. Obviously, the original "Not a Player," the "You're My Darling, Darling Baby."
That sample, man.
Yeah.
Also, "Punish Me." He bodies it on.
Yeah, with Miss Jones.
Also, "Twins." How can I fucking forget "Twins"? I always have that debate which deep cover was better between the Snoop and Dre one or the Pun and Fat Joe one.
Pun and Fat Joe, I like that. I like the Pun and Fat Joe one. They went in on that one.
Yeah, they did, definitely. Yeah, that's why I say it's such a hard one to pick between the two. Also, Boomerang, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, Boomerang,
so good, bro.
Beware, and Beware is like one of the your first real memories of the album. Like when it first starts, that sets the tone for it.
Yeah.
Just the way the beat drops already sets a tone. You're like, God damn. I gave you fair warning. Beware. You know what? Mobb Deep gets sampled so much for like whether it's Dance with the Devil or like I'm falling and I can't turn back. Even Exhibit's first album, Eyes May Shine, they used a sample from the same album from Infamous. Beware. Also, like the Mobb Deep, like the quotables that they sample for like songs and hooks and shit. Just next level.
Yeah, they even sampled it in a new Future and Metro Boomin album. They got Prodigy.
Yeah, I heard about that.
All through the whole album. As part of like the skits or in between one song to another.
Yeah, someone told me some shit about that. Yeah, I didn't hear the album, but someone told me about that.
Dope to hear Prodigy, man. Yeah. People forget.
And then you got it on Gus Leches. And honestly, INS. Not as far as maybe like studio albums, even though I liked his first 2 albums, but as far as verses, one of the best rappers in the game, bro. Yeah. No one can buy this dude on a verse. I mean, granted, Tres Leches is not his best work. I don't think it's any of theirs best work. I feel like all 3 of them was like underwhelming verses, but I still love the song.
Yeah, I love the song, though.
But like, bro, INS is one of the illest rappers to put on a verse, bro. Like, give him 16 bars and wow.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, also You Came Up. The one thing I like about You Came Up is that fucking instrumental. Like that instrumental like really gives you that 1950s like Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra type vibe. That's the shit that like always like drew me to it from day one.
Bro, I rapped to that shit till today, bro.
Shit.
I'll throw that beat on,
Yeah, I just had to write a rap this morning because a certain somebody tried to sneak attack us.
Yeah, it's another DFP battle coming on.
Kendrick takes a month to diss Drake back, and this dude just dissed me last night, and I dissed him right when I woke up this morning.
Damn.
Yo, that shit fire, bro. The '04 Waleska and the little boy in Publix lines were crazy.
Yeah, that's why I say. That's why I say, don't ever get Kurt mad. He'll write a diss song about you. You'll never forget.
Yeah, I started writing mine last night, but I kept falling asleep like midway. So I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'll write it tomorrow." But I got some fire for him, bro.
Yes, sir. But let's close out this discussion about capital punishment. Unfortunately, just like Biggie for his first album, this was the only album of Big Pun's that he would actually be alive for when it did come out.
Yeah, Baby was an amazing album, and granted, Endangered Species is mostly a collection of older music.
Yeah.
But there's one song out there called "What You Gonna Do When Pun Comes." Yo, this song goes so hard, bro. One of the illest hooks, like crazy beat. Yo, check that song out. So good, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, 100% is like one of my favorite songs to party to now.
That's a dope track.
And like on John Blaze and Band from TV, he always had the best verses, bro. When he said, "Even if I stutter, I will still shit on you," I was like, "What? What a beast!"
Yeah, Baby kind of came out like literally right after he died, and obviously Endangered Species even longer after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like the only album of his that he would actually be alive for, and
yeah, like Biggie, yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, he was pretty hot at the time. Like I remember, Still Not a Player was a big deal. Hell, he was even at WrestleMania the following year. He made a cameo.
Yeah, and if you listen to some of the shit he recorded before he died on Yeah Baby, he says like, "I just lost 100 pounds. I'm trying to live." You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Sad, man.
He was even starting to lose weight like when he died. Like he was starting to lose weight, but he just didn't do it in enough time.
Yeah.
Sad, man.
Yeah,
one of the best.
Yeah, definitely one of the best.
Take care of your health.
Yeah, definitely. But even though his run,
Health as well.
even though his run was short as it was, he definitely left an impact specifically with this album, and this album solidified his legacy, and it still lives on to this day. Shout out to Big Pun, shout out to the whole Terror Squad, shout out to Puerto Rico, and shout out to
Rest in peace. Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, so King Kong, before we get out of here, let our listeners know how they can follow us on social media and also how they can listen to this and past episodes of the podcast.
Yeah, if you want to hit us up on social media, we're on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Just search Shifting the Culture Podcast. If you want to check out past episodes, you can visit shiftingtheculturepodcast.com.
All right, yeah, definitely check us out. Holler at us. Let us know what you think. Ben, thank you for being on the show today. It was a pleasure as always. We look forward to having
thank you for having me, yo. It was amazing. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here. You guys are great. Keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully one day I'll make it back here. Maybe one day we can rap on the show a little.
Do it, son. All right,
I've been telling Kurt, you got to drop some bars, bro.
I'm down for it. All right, so for Ben Rockmani and for King Kong, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of Shifting the Culture, the podcast. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And remember, whether you are an old school head or a new school head, always respect the motherfucking culture. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.